On March 10th, 1986, Bruce Aune joined the KCRG-TV news team as lead anchor for its 3 primetime newscasts.
I always looked at Bruce as a mentor. He set the bar for journalistic excellence. He taught me how to write. He taught me about on-air presence, and I felt like he always had my back.
The station made a commitment to community involvement back in the late 80s, and it affected us because we had a personal involvement where we would go out into the community for different events, had to give up some Saturdays and Sundays sometimes to get out there, but it really exposed us to the public. It gave them an opportunity to come up and just talk to us and chat a little bit and realize that we're real human beings.
I love taking my son to a baseball game. It's a great chance for us to have some fun together, and it brings back memories of all those games my dad and I went to when I was a boy.
So when I think of Bruce, I think of credibility. When he says something, I believe him, and I believe him because he was in this market for so long that he knows what he's talking about.
We interrupt this program to bring you a KCRG-TV News special report.
And good evening once again, everyone. I'm Bruce Aune, live in the Eyewitness Newsroom with TV9's continuing coverage of the Iowa City shootings this afternoon. Again, 5 people
I
are
was
dead,
on the scene, and we didn't know what was going on. And Bruce was back in the studio, and he was so calm and of presence on the air and kind of led me through and asked me the questions that needed to be asked. I think we did that really well, and it was because of Bruce.
I think people started really appreciated that, and started looking at us as somebody who really, really was focusing on local news. So I think that event, as terrible as it was a real turning point for our newsroom.
Now KCRG-TV News has a clearer focus.
For the next 29 years, Bruce dedicated himself to gathering news important to the people of eastern Iowa.
Was, with Bill Clinton leading in the polls here in Iowa, whether he thought his message had effectively been reaching the voters in Iowa.
I think I will carry Iowa.
Well, I think anytime you sit down and interview the President of the United States, that's got to be a defining moment in your career. Even though when you talk to Bruce, he doesn't make a big deal out of that. He says, that's just what I do, that's my job. But he was one of 3 people in the United States, 3 journalists in the United States that was invited to Washington, D.C. to sit down with President Obama.
His comments last night on cable television about Ann Romney, that she hasn't worked a day in her life.
He found unique stories that linked our state to other countries around the world. He threw himself into stories, but more importantly, he always made his stories personal to the people of eastern Iowa.
Now, 37 years later, TV9's Bruce Aune goes to the Yamanashi district in Japan. He shows you how their people welcome our people, learn about our state, and buy our products.
If Bruce has a defining moment, I would think it would be the flood coverage in 2008, because I remember Bruce sitting out in the set hour after hour, delivering the news about what was happening, and everybody in eastern Iowa was tuned in because they needed to know what was happening because of the floods. And not only did he sit there hour after hour, I think it might have been the first time we saw him in the air without a tie on.
Have been flooded very badly by this flood in Cedar Rapids.
Bruce would normally come in around noon or a little after and work from then until 10:30 at night. And that first day, that Thursday the 12th, when we knew we were in trouble, I think he came in at about 9 in the morning, and I am thinking he didn't go home until 2 or so the following morning.
So it was up to me and Bruce to make sure people understood what was going on, that the facts were accurate. We were fact-checking on set. It was not easy. I did not enjoy the flood in any capacity. People are very complimentary about the station's coverage at that time, and I'm super appreciative of that, but it was awful, and I don't think I would have made it unless I had Bruce by my side.
I'm amazed how I can be at an event at the grocery store and somebody just walks up and says, just wanted to tell you how much we appreciate the flood coverage you gave us 5 years ago. Wow, 5 years later and you're still getting a response like that.
KCRG-TV congratulates Bruce Aune, the 2015 Jack Shelley Award winner.